it was church hurt, honestly. Like, people don't realize that the church hurt is really what led me. It's like somebody saying to you, it's like a spouse saying, you gonna cheat on me. You gonna cheat on me. I know you're gonna cheat. I know you're gonna cheat. And you keep berating that person every day, telling them, look at you. I saw you on your phone looking at something. It's like, I wasn't looking at nothing. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? To where eventually you push that person so far, they end up leaving, or they end up doing the very thing. It's like self-fulfilling prophecy in some senses. So for me, I was so abused by church folk. Like, you fake, you Illuminati, you part of this. I saw you at this. You did this. Why are you with them? And I was like, yo, I'm done with y'all. And being done with them, it was like I had to develop my own relationship with God, to where, like, I was connecting them to God. People ain't God. People are people. And so a lot of times we take our frustrations out on God instead of, like, realizing that those are the broken people. That ain't God.
That's right.
So I turn my back on God because of his people. And that's not fair.
Everybody, so a few days ago, Lecrae did a interview with the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne Tha God, and in this clip that you just watched, he was just talking about how people, and Christians in particular, were being so over the top that they just pushed him to the point of just wanting to say, forget it, walk away from, God's people, walk away from church, and walk away from God. So I just want to encourage you guys to take the moment to, if you also saw this, to encourage you to say, if you are at that point in your walk, because I've been there before, where you just don't want nothing. If you're like, if this is what following God is about, and this is the kind of people, I want nothing to do with it. I just want to encourage you to kind of abandon that way of thinking. All it's going to do is push you into a space where the enemy wants to get you, where he can really attack and come after you because you are severing your ties with God. I remember my dad used to give us an example of staying connected with God, that our power comes from being connected with God. Okay, so we are able to withstand whatever life is throwing our way because we stay connected. And he used to tell us, stay connected. And he used to use the illustration of a plug being connected into a wall. I'm not going to be able to get my device or my electronic to work if that plug is not connected to the source, which is the outlet and the electricity. So if I disconnect that plug, I no longer have power to use the device. I may be able to for a little while, but eventually that power is going to be drained, is going to run out, and that device is not going to work anymore. And the same kind of illustration works with our spirituality and our walk with God, is that when we decide that we want to disconnect from God, turn our backs, like Lecrae said in the clip, you are disconnecting that power source. And so you may be able to keep going for a little while longer, but eventually that power source is going to tap out. And you're going to get weak, and you're going to start falling into some of your old behaviors, or finding new behaviors that are not going to help in your walk with God. So if you're feeling like how Lecrae was feeling, thank God he got back on track. He's stronger than he was before, and maybe that's just what he needed in that season, to be stronger, not to depend so much on the word of people, but depend on the word of God. I'm encouraging you guys to do the same thing. Listen, there are a lot of awesome Christian people. There's a lot of awesome people that follow God, and they do their best to follow how they need to in their path and walk with God. But guess what? People are people, and people are going to fall. People are going to get messy. People are going to mess up and all of that. And so when that happens, I'm not going to say if, I'm going to say when, because it's bound to happen. We're people and it's life. When that does happen, please don't take that as the opportunity to say, okay, you know what? So-and-so is doing that, so let me start doing that. Or let me just turn away because they're doing wrong to me, they're pushing me away. No, if stuff like that happens, you want to turn even more to God and lessen that distance and that connectivity with people, because people are people and they are bound to disappoint at some point in time. So listen, you guys stay strong, stay blessed out here. This 2020 is not for the weak. I will tell you that right now. But I want you guys to take the opportunity to get strong in your faith and your walk with God and your prayer life with God. Okay, it's going to benefit you guys in the future. I love y'all. Be blessed, and I'll holla.